Best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
Irish Radio, I'm Jerry Byrne, and over this number of months since the onset of COVID and everything else, I've been speaking to some of the great and the good, and boy, we've got a huge amount of great and good people involved in Irish music and Irish entertainment. I'm delighted to say hello to a young lady who is making a big impression in music. She's also been playing in a two-piece together with her dad. Very, very talented lass from County Armagh. And I'm delighted to say hello to Katie McPartland. Katie, how are you?
I'm very good, Jerry. Thanks for having me on your show.
It's a real pleasure. Listen, you didn't sort of pick it up off the streets, the music. Your dad was involved heavily in the show bands and the music for many years.
Yes, luckily enough, Jerry, I got to grow up in a musical family. My dad's very heavily influenced my career so far. He was in some of the big show bands around Ireland from the 60s and that, and basically from I was old enough to be able to sing, I kind of followed his lead, and he's given me the best guidance throughout.
Indeed, that's a great advantage, for you to have somebody like that who's been, who's really cut the teeth in it and been involved in it for so many years.
Yeah, that's right, and I think the great thing about having somebody that kind of was around in the earlier days is that they kind of mould you not to, kind of fall too far into the whole thing. They kind of build you up from scratch, and, Dad's been very lucky. Like, he's kept my head on my shoulders throughout the whole process, made me work the bars and the clubs and, kind of progress gradually. I think it's very easy to fall into, to kind of just putting yourself out there and expecting great things to happen. It's a very tough market, and, I'm lucky enough that, Dad's kind of guided me throughout.
Indeed, that's excellent. That's absolutely excellent. And indeed it is. There are many pitfalls that somebody can fall into. Indeed, on it, and well done. Now you've teamed up actually with your dad, and before the onset of COVID and everything else, you were out gigging with your dad in a two-piece band.
Yes, me and Dad. I started actually in the two-piece whenever I was around 15, 16 with Dad, and we'd trained and done lots of bars in and around the north, and some in the south as well. And then kind of towards just maybe a year or two before COVID hit, I started branching into the concert scene and more of the social scene as well. So, I've had a great couple of years, and unfortunately just whenever the COVID hit, everything was kind of just been knocked on the head just as it was coming to, a good peak in the stage of my career. But, we just have to keep hoping that things are going to return to normal soon and we can all get out again.
Indeed so. It was a real shame. There was yourself and a number of other, promising young talents who, unfortunately, the exact same thing happened. COVID hit, and you were starting to make a name and make a great impression, and the whole thing had to come to a grinding halt.
Yeah, and it has been tough, and I think especially in the industry over here, it's hard for everyone trying to come into it, but I do think it's especially hard for females to come in to the scene and kind of make an impression. But, I think that we're lucky enough now that we do have social media, and although it's not the same, we can still interact with people, and we can still, put on a bit of a show, because, I think life without music would be very, very dull, and, at least throughout all of this, we've still had our music, even though we're not necessarily singing in front of people, but we still have music in itself to kind of ground us and, keep us all sane through these dark times.
Indeed so, definitely. And listen, you're well done to yourself. You've done Facebook Lives, and they've been incredibly successful. You've done some with your dad, and they've been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I do love doing the Facebook Lives with Dad, because, it's kind of relaxed, and, there's nothing really too heavily involved, and, me and Dad kind of like to stick to just doing the wee acoustic sets, and, I play a wee bit of the tin whistle as well, and, Dad would be on guitar, and I'd maybe pick up the guitar too, and it's just really relaxed, and, it gives you something as well to look forward to, as sad as that seems, but, in these times there's nothing really else going on, but at least whenever you have the wee shows to do, you're going to get to interact with people and, have a wee bit of crack along the way as well.
Indeed, so that's that is excellent, and I'll have to say one of the saving graces with this whole situation that we find ourselves in is that we've got the technology, the communication, and at least while it's not exactly being there live with people, you are able to virtually link up to to people and connect up indeed to people and indeed promote yourself.
Yeah, that's true. Like, thank God for social media. It does have its disadvantages, but it kind of works well whenever you're trying to establish yourself and promote yourself. And to be honest, Jerry, I'm still learning with the whole social media. I'm trying to pick it all up, and it does take a lot of graft. I think maybe the promotion side of things, anyway, when you're doing it yourself, is a lot tougher than just getting out on stage and performing, because at least then you know what you're doing. Whereas whenever you're trying to self-promote yourself and use all this technology, it can be very daunting. Indeed
so, and it's one of those things. I think in social media that nobody ever gets it exactly correct.
No, that's right. A lot of it's just pot luck as well, and I kind of thought you could just put a video up and just see how it goes. I didn't realise you have to have so many people following your page, or putting it on at the right time of day and stuff. There is so much to learn, but I'm happy enough that I've got a good wee following now, and it's nice to be able to get to know the people as well that kind of follow your music. They've become great friends of mine, and I do have a group of them that would come to all my gigs and follow me around and stuff, and it's a really nice thing to have, that people do actually appreciate the music that you're putting out there.
Indeed it does. Who were the influences, besides your dad, but who were the other influences that you had in music, from when you were growing up?
Well, growing up, the first musical influence I had was Donny O'Donnell. My mum, I remember at the time, had an old video and used to play the same concert over and over and over again, and then I think that was my first introduction into Irish country music. And then I remember as I got older, I was only about 7 or 8, and I remember sitting down, and I think it was maybe RTA was on, and it was the first time I heard Tommy Fleming, and then he became a massive influence in my life, and we used to follow him around the country as well. And then I got introduced to Mary Black and Dolores Keane, Sean Keane, and as well, one of my biggest inspirations was Emily Horace. I just loved the tone of her voice, and just found her very mesmerising. So a mixture of both American and country.
Right. Now you've got something coming up on this Saturday. It's a virtual show.
Yes, this Saturday is the virtual tractor run. It's an event that takes place every year, and unfortunately due to COVID, everything's had to go virtual now. So last year there was over 700 tractors on the day that was there, and trust me, I didn't even think you could get that many tractors into Armagh, but you really could. And it was a great day, and Cedric runs the event really, really well, and it's such a shame that they're not getting to do it properly this year, but it is going virtual. So a lot of people, what they've been doing is sending their pictures in to the page, and they're going to upload them and have a virtual show on the day. So Cedric has picked 3 parties this year to support. So I'm really, really hoping that everyone gets behind them, and there's a link on my page as well, with all the information on it, so that people can go and see. But it is a really good event.
Right, I'd well believe it. And it's if you go to Katie McPartland on Facebook, and it's the Livingston Christmas Tractor Run online, Saturday, 2nd of January, and it's raising money for those charities. So well done to yourself, and indeed on Cedric in organising this, because it's pretty tough to all these events. This is right throughout the summer, and all the summer events in Ireland that happen, all the various shows that happen, and be it the ploughing championship, be it the Minolta steam thrashing, the Carlingford event, all of those events, not a single one of them took place in 2020.
I know, it really is devastating, and I'm really hoping that something starts to mould and take shape next year, and hopefully we can get the world back to normal and slowly open things up again.
Indeed, indeed. Well, it's looking promising enough at the moment, even though it's dark times at the moment, but things are sort of going in the right direction. Fingers crossed, and fingers crossed. 2021 will be a lot better than 2020, and a lot kinder to everybody in music.
Yeah, that's true. And I think I'm hoping anyway, Jerry, that whenever everywhere does start to open up, that people do come and support the musicians and the local singers and stuff, because these are the people that bring entertainment to us, and they've been out of work, and luckily enough, my dad always made sure I kept my head on my shoulders and kept my wee job and stuff going. But with the way the music industry has been anyway over the last few years, but I really do hope that people go out and support our entertainment industry, because a lot of people have taken the time and helped people throughout a pandemic and stuff, and it would be nice just to see everyone come together again.
Indeed so. It's had a truly devastating effect on everybody really in the performing arts. I mean, this includes not alone the singers, but the musicians, also the various crews involved, all the theatres, all the musical shows, all the all live shows, all the concerts, quite literally around the world.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us really took everything for granted, that we're done, and nobody ever realised that anything like this was going to happen. But it has had a devastation across the whole world, and even personally, my own brother, he had a stage and sound business in England and stuff, and he's out now driving lorries until the pandemic's over and he can get his place back up and running again. But hopefully now next year that there'll be an end to this and we can slowly open up again. Indeed.
So, Katie, listen, it's been lovely to chat to you. I wish you a very, very happy new year to yourself and your family. And listen, wishing you loads of success. And fingers crossed that somewhere along the way, as soon as it's safe to do so, you're back in action, and I'll be able to see you performing someplace along the line.
I really hope so, Jerry. And thank you so much for having me. And happy New Year, and happy New Year to everyone that's listening. Thank you so much.